So on our last video, we were talking about how DNA works, and we were talking about how your body makes proteins from DNA, and that DNA is the instruction manual or the code for stringing together these 20 amino acids into a long string and then folding it up for one of the 20,000 different proteins in your body. We were also talking about the sequence of 3 of these base pairs that translates into a specific amino acid, and those sequence of 3 base pairs are called a codon. So on this video, we're going to talk about what happens when one of these base pairs is different, and that's called a variant. It's something that makes you different from me. But it also can cause problems. And this is where it's important in functional medicine and in your health when you're having a chronic health problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change screens here. And I hope this works because I'm going to use my clapper. Whoa, that worked pretty good. Okay, so we're going to go one step further and we're going to show you how your genes affect your health and, more importantly, what you can do about it. So it's important to remember that genes are not destiny. There are other factors that enter into it, such as diet, lifestyle, how much you exercise, stress. All these things will affect how your genes are expressed. So a gene is a sequence of nucleotides that codes for the making of a protein. Proteins are the workhorse of the cell. They are like your muscles. It would be an example of a protein. Enzymes are proteins. Enzymes do a lot of work in the chemical reactions in your body. If you have 2 substances and you bring them together, 2 chemicals, they may take a long time to react with each other. But you bring in an enzyme and poof, instantaneously, that chemical reaction takes place. So enzymes are very important. So a gene is a sequence of your DNA that codes for a specific protein. And you all remember the base pairs from the last video, and these base pairs are lined up in a very specific order to code for a specific protein, and that's the definition of a gene. Okay, so, and if you remember, there are 450 base pairs in the average gene. So this would obviously be much longer than what it is now. And because 3 of these code for a specific amino acid, there are, on average, 150 amino acids in the average protein. So let's say this is the strand you inherited from your mother. This is the strand you inherited from your father. So we're going along down this strand, and normal would be AT on this side. An A and a T here. So if there's a substitution here and you have a G instead of an A, that can present a problem. It may not present a problem. It probably won't present a problem. If this difference may be the difference between you having blue eyes and me having brown eyes, or you tolerating the heat better, or the factors that make this person different from this person, a lot of those are from a change in the genetic code. But let's say that this is a problem, and because this G is there, that protein doesn't fold quite properly. Then that is called a risk allele. And an allele is when a copy of a gene differs from each other. Then that is known as an allele. This G is also called a SNP. And that's SNP. That's how you'll see it on your genetic report, and that's how you'll see it in the medical literature. They call these SNPs. And a SNP is a single, meaning one, nucleotide. We talked about these nucleotides. Polymorphism, which means that it's going to change the structure of that protein. So SNPs are potentially a problem. And they don't have to be, but potentially they could be. Now we have good scientific evidence in the studies for about 30 SNPs that affect your health. We know what to do about them. and we know how to treat them. And there are probably another 30 that the evidence is good but not great. And of course, genetics is a new science, so this is changing all the time. So if you have A and T here, that would be normal. You have an A and a T. If you have a risk allele on one strand, that would you have GT, that would be heterozygous, meaning they're different on each side. It's heterozygous. If you had a G here and a G here, then that would be homozygous, meaning on both sides, GG. Homozygous, you're going to see this on your report. Homozygous is worse if that's a bad SNP than heterozygous. And of course, we always want normal. So on the next video, we're going to go through some of these biochemical pathways to show you how this affects you when you have a SNP. And again, more importantly, what you can do in your everyday life with diet and exercise and lifestyle to, if you have a bad SNP, to affect that, to increase your health and minimize the risk that you would have from that particular SNP. So we'll see you on the next video.